You are tuning into What the FFF, a show inspired by the FabFitFun Community, where we have experts from our team, founders, and other really cool guests to talk about all things beauty, fashion, fitness, home, and wellness. I'm Angela. I'm the head of talent acquisition here at FabFitFun. And on today's episode, we have Jay, the co-founder of Arey, one of the newest brands in our fall box. Let's get to it. Welcome back. You are tuning into What the FFF. I'm Angela. I'm the head of talent acquisition here at FabFitFun, and we are so excited. We have Jay, who is the co-founder of Arey, a new brand for FabFitFun in our fall box, and Arey is the first functional beauty brand to target aging hair with proactive, science-driven approach. All right, so Jay, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
We are so excited to have you, and I know we've been chatting a little bit before. I am so excited to dive in to talk all things hair, this amazing product, and of course, we can get started with you because you seem like you've lived many lives beyond being the co-founder of this amazing hair care brand.
Thank you. Yes, that's always been the case. Even when I was like 8 years old, everybody's like, you feel like you're like a 50-year-old man. So I feel like I'm gradually getting more fun.
Yeah.
Like today, I'm going to maybe leave work early and go to the beach with my friends. You know, like that was nothing I would do in my 20s.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of drawn to like work and, you know, kind of being around older people. Even my wife is 8 years older. So yeah, that's
okay,
kind of how I
love that. As like my boyfriend's 5 years younger. So it's
honestly, it's definitely always worked for me and like my personality. And then also like as a stylist, like you got to work with people that are 20, people that are 50. And I have found that kind of just being kind of neutral allows everybody to be comfortable with you. Yeah. And then that you just get so much more out of it.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so before we started, we were talking about a trichologist.
Yeah.
Because of course, you know, doing my due diligence and research, I was like, oh, like Jay is like a trichologist.
Trichologist, huh?
Like, oh my God, I'm sorry. We also have like our lovely peanut gallery here. We have Steb, we have Ellie. Guys, please feel free to jump in. This is going to be such...
We will.
We're going to have like a really fun conversation today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to put money in the meter.
Yeah, we're gonna have money. That actually should be a podcast. Money in the meter.
Money in the meter.
Wow.
I kind of love it. Maybe like a little FabFitFun spinoff. We'll see.
Shout out to La La Land too. I think this is going to bring us to life here.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Okay. The trichologist of it all.
Yes.
So our members, like, they like love to understand like the products and the brands, and also just like, I don't know, like life and different backgrounds like this of what is a trichologist?
Yes. According to Google, it's a specialist who focuses on trichology.
That sounds like an AI answer. Thanks, Google.
Well,
like,
I'll
thank
be
you
completely
for-
honest. When I took my course in trichology, which I'll explain what that is, I was really looking to more like understand about gray hair. And when I got to the chapter on gray hair, it goes, it's complicated. And I was like, wait, what? Guys, this is, you know, why I'm here. So anyway, a trichologist is a hair and scalp specialist. And so, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen with our hair and scalp. And it can be our body communicating with us about what's happening on the inside. So for example, you get a rapid hair loss. It could be linked to, you know, some type of an illness on the inside. It could be linked to a hormonal change. But there's a gap, right? You go to your medical doctor, and your medical doctor might not look at it as deeply because there's the whole body that they have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
Generalist.
So whereas you can come to a trichologist and say, hey, I've noticed that I have this shedding. We might look a little bit deeper. We might ask more questions. We might look to vitamin and mineral deficiencies and help to understand that. And because we realize there's both the vanity side, but then there is the holistic side, and that's with gray hair, we also looked at it as, could it be a message from the body? If it's happening at 26.
Which that I was telling Jay about my hair journey. You know, I had the lovely benefit of starting to go gray at 26. I was like, man, that's like so early. And I didn't know until maybe like 10 years later doing more research that it could be a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When we first started Arey, we thought, oh, it's genetics. You know, like my grandfather, that's gray. But then you realize there's only one gene that's been linked to gray hair, and that's the IRF4 gene. And that gene only accounts for about 30% of why we go gray. And so vitamin and mineral deficiency and oxidative stress, like we were talking about before, which is everything that the body has to defend us from. Sun exposure, hair dye, even people laugh, flaming hot Cheetos. You know, you take something into your body.
Flaming hot Cheetos causes grays?
Thankfully, I don't eat those.
Or smoking cigarettes, things like that. So it's like the body has to kind of stop the program and be like, oh, here's this foreign thing, and we have to digest it. And in the process of digestion, we create this thing called reactive oxygen species, ROS, which is free radicals. The more of these free radicals that are in the body, the more that you have cells that aren't functioning properly. And the result of that can be wrinkles, it can be gray, it can be other, changes in the body.
That is so fascinating. Because, you get things like
I know, can we go back to that?
Go ahead.
What specifically?
It's a lot to unpack, I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
The Latins over here are stuck on the hot Cheeto
Yes,
thing.
we're struggling.
I like to try and make it
Those are
relatable
childhood
because people
growing
are
up.
like, I haven't smoked. I'm like, well, I know you haven't, but have you had a Dorito? Because I'm going to be real honest.
Okay.
Man. Well, because people think once you get like gray hair, it's just like, well, this is it. I'm stuck with it. But it is so crazy that you can look into it to help reverse a portion of it. And, not all gray hair is the same, but there is some that you could have
Absolutely.
an impact on.
And honestly, I know this is going to kind of blow everybody's mind, but there's a difference between gray hair and white hair.
What?
Yeah. So
What's the
imagine
difference?
When
like,
I tell you, I've done so much research.
Yeah,
This has
so-
never come across my desk.
imagine it's not like a hair, the light switch turns on and turns off one day.
Yeah.
It's a gradual depigmentation that happens. So imagine you had a chocolate chip cookie with 10 chocolate chips. Over time, you're like in the sun, you're extracting one of those chocolate chips every couple of months. And so hair will then start to appear faded or ashy, drab, flat, mousy, right? That's depigmentation. And that is the early sign that your hair will start to lose pigment and then eventually turn white. If you can see a hair from across the room or across the podcast, these are white hairs. If we go close in with a microscope, there's hairs around them that have 50% pigment, 30%. And that's what we can repigment. And that's what we want to get on top of. It's like a fine line versus a wrinkle.
Interesting. Okay, that definitely.
Yeah.
So you're
sense.
saying there's a chance to save my grays?
Yeah, that's very much what it is. But we like people to understand that.
Yeah.
Just like skincare, it has to be proactive. So like, don't wait until you definitely know that there's something going on. You know,
Yeah.
like don't wait until the trash smells. Like, take it out. Like, go in there. And we know that all these things are. That's why we try and really relate it to what we expose ourselves to.
Yeah.
And the more that you can kind of like take stock and be like, well, I did this, this, and this. I've intermittent fasted. I juice cleansed. Those things are great. They make you feel great, but do they give you the nutrients that you need? And as you get older, then your nutrient absorption in the body decreases, right? So you really got to prioritize,
know that.
yeah.
So
Did
your
you guys?
ability to
To use the nutrients that you have, is going to decrease. Also, if the body has, say, a lot of these free radicals built up and you're not eating, think about how many antioxidants you would have to consume. So like
feel like there's a lot of
handfuls of blueberries.
blueberries.
That's like truckloads of blueberries,
I had 5 this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my favorite Shark Tank phrase in transition, there has to be another way. And here comes Arey.
Jeez.
I was like,
Bars.
when there's like a problem, there's just like had to be another way, another solution.
Yeah,
And thank
yeah.
goodness for Arey. So tell us and the members, like, how did it get started? Because like you are, a hairstylist, and I'm assuming just seeing this problem of people coming in to the salon, to the chair, and coloring and just what is one to do. Tell us more of how we got here today.
Yeah, I think it was really a very pure story where I had been a hairstylist for about 18 years, and I didn't feel like I was giving my clients healthy solutions. Like here we are in LA, everybody's coming in talking about how much they're exercising, how healthy they are, their lifestyle, and then they start to see gray. The first thing is hey, here's a chemical that I can mix together that my eyes will burn a little bit with when I do it. I'll let that chill for a second, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to apply it and let it sit for a long enough amount of time where it absorbs into your hair. And, we'll do it every 8 weeks, but then I know in my heart it's going to go every 6 weeks, every 4 weeks. And it just didn't seem like something I should sign people up for after knowing so many years of what that was like.
Yeah.
So I had a client who is my co-founder, Allison Conrad. And to give her much credit, she is one of the most inquisitive people that I've ever met. And I knew that if but also she always believed things that I said. So if I gave her a product, she was going to try it, all the way through. So I knew if I said do hair dye, she was going to trust me. But then she was going to start to realize, like, wait, this doesn't smell so good. This doesn't feel so good. And so we talked about the realistic reasons why not to do it. And she then went home and did some research, and her mother is a dietitian and her father is a medical doctor. And together they looked up what causes gray and found only one gene, and then all these other vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And then it led to us finding an article that showed an increased risk of certain cancers associated with on-scalp at-home hair color.
Wow.
And that was where we were like, okay, and that was November 2019. And so we all know what happened after that. So
Yeah.
on March,
What happened after that?
Like-
March 13th or March 15th, I got the call, no more clients. And so we went into research, and that was how Arey began. Yeah.
Wow. Before like the first product, like how did you come up with the name Arey?
So actually, that was another Allison thing. So Allison texted me. So just for full disclosure, my wife is a creative director. So like anything, like over the years, I've come to her with like hundreds of ideas, and I'm like, "Can I have a website?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "Whatever, Jay." And so Allison texted me, knowing Amy, had this skill set, and was like, "I'm gonna start this brand. I like the name Arey." At the time, it was derived from the French word arrêt, to stop. And so we had spelled it differently, closer, to phonetically to how it was there. And then we were like, wait, Arey gray. And then it just kind of all fit together. And so the goal was to, stop this, not anti-aging, but stop or take control of this process.
Yeah.
Stop delay.
Yeah, it's like we were stopping the grays, we're stopping the color fading, stopping the stress.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Stopping the stress about
Yeah.
your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So multifaceted. So what was the first product? Like,
Yeah, first product we created was called Not Today Gray, and it's a supplement. And that was because there was so much compelling research that had showed vitamin and mineral deficiencies associated with premature graying or with the loss of pigment from other studies. They weren't studying gray, but it was like a sideline. Noted that X amount of people saw this percentage of gray hair. And then the other side was, in traditional Chinese medicine, there were all these antioxidants that people were taking for preventative aging, we like to say. So, things like black sesame or faux tea, and they were taking these things, and then they were also found to, preserve pigment and preserve youth. And so we're like, wait, if we can take the, this science and this traditional medicine and put them together in one place, then we will have something. And so Not Today Gray was where we started, and that started with a qualitative study, which meant that we opened up salons again in June, and then I was able to see clients, and I found 60 of them, and I shoved pills in their mouth, and I said, "You're going to take pills," and we tracked their progress
So LA.
for
Wow.
6 months.
Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could have found you the thing I love when stylists do that.
And I'll say the one we were shocked because there were so many guys that were like, "Yes,
Really?
sign me up." They're like, because it was
For the gray or for more of like the volume?
I think it was more just like, wait, I could be healthier. Like I could see this as a way to be a little healthier.
Yeah.
And they weren't taking supplements. They were taking multivitamins. And that really led us to show the difference. Like men kind of take stock on age a lot differently than women.
Yeah.
And so, I think it was then, oh, wait, what if gray hair was a message from the body? So for men or women.
Yeah.
And it gave us a moment to be like, let's slow down. Let's not just be reactive. Let's try and be proactive.
It's good.
Well, I know I personally will be running to your guys' website to be getting these supplements myself.
Nice.
But excited to talk to our members more about the product that is in the box, this Live-In Mist. Would you like to tell the class
I will.
more about the product?
Well, so, I'm a hairstylist first and foremost. And, one of the things that we found is that, within this preventative process, we wanted to offer science-backed solutions like the supplement and like the serum, but then we also wanted to give people things that could help the ends of their hair. Because everything before that was really scalp outward. What are we going to grow?
Starting at the root.
Starting at the
follicle.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so we then realized, like, the hair that you have on your head right now, those ends have been there since like 2 or 3 summers ago. And one of the most common things that we see is UV exposure.
Yeah.
It's every day, it's everywhere. And we never really prioritize sunscreen
For the hair.
for our hair, for our scalps. A lot of times, people actually, a little fun fact, we go gray, front hairline, and the top of the and the part first.
That's where my issues are.
Yeah, and it's UV exposure typically, or even some chemical overlap around the hairline. And so what we found is we needed to create a product that was conditioning and made hair feel good, but also incorporated this proactivity, but without you knowing. We really like to make sure that there's really effective ingredients, but you don't really, it doesn't scream like, this is a clinical product that's going to help. We want you to want to use it. And so Live in Mist is exactly what it is. If you have finer hair and you want to just have something that is a detangler out of the shower, it's a great lightweight mist. Or if you have, a little bit more density, a little bit more wave, and you wake up on second day hair, you are going to apply this to dry hair to revive the hair and bring it back to life, although with the benefits of UV. Yeah.
It's all start spraying.
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
This is day 2 hair. And this is what I love most about products like these because, like there's some people that wash their hair every day. That is not me. And so like, you want to just like freshen it up a bit. Like a product like this is so nice to just make it look a little bit more like alive while also having all these benefits to it.
And I think that's kind of the main thing is, you got to prime there a little bit. The main thing is that I actually cut hair dry exclusively. And so I also wanted to like have something where I could put it on.
And it feels just like cleaner, fresher, like a little bit more alive, like.
And we wanted to make it where it was something where, it definitely leaves the hair feeling, nourished and hydrated. So like, the 3 main ingredients that I would say are the call-outs are raspberry seed oil. And raspberry seed oil is a natural UV protectant, which provides natural UVA, UVB protection. And that was why we kind of formulated around that ingredient, because it was something holistic that we could all kind of understand. But then we also used shea butter and jojoba. And traditionally, we see those in more kind of cream formulas. And so the real challenge with the chemist was to make it so that it was this lightweight, kind of effortless mist. That's kind of how
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's kind of how we formulated it. And I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. And then it's also packed with antioxidants. So it's just as much for the ends of your hair as it is for the edges of your hair. What I mean by that is your hairline. It can get on your face. It can get on your skin. All of our products are formulated by skincare chemists. So
because it's not sticky. By any
no,
means.
and the tops of your ears and the back of your neck, and even our shampoos, they're formulated with, our shampoo is formulated with surfactants that are gentle enough to be used on your beard or your face, or because it's formulated for your scalp, for your skin.
Wow, we are learning so much today. And with like the UV protection as well, I think it's not even just thinking about grays, but people that color their hair. Like I've been so frustrated just in general of color not fading and just not realizing how much like the sun exposure. Because, I think like when you think of UV and your scalp, it's like, okay, is my scalp going to burn? You're not thinking about the DNA of like the follicles and all of that, or even just like, oh, that's what's affecting my color. So, and I love that this is great for color treated hair. Who else would this be good for? Like other different types of textures, like men, women?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, so I use it a lot on my male clients that maybe aren't so prone to using products and are having like a coarseness or a dryness. So, really
on the scalp or in the hair?
I would use this focused on the scalp, but realizing that there's always going to be a little peripheral that'll make its way to the scalp when you massage it through. But it's the same way in which we treat kind of like nourishing our skin. Hair that does feel coarse, dry, or brittle, it needs some flexibility. And so products like this are going to give them that ability to kind of bend or move or kind of take shape in a certain way. But it also creates a little exterior barrier, right? And so that's going to help, the reason that we call ourselves trichologists is because the hair has 3 parts: cuticle, cortex, and a medulla.
We are getting a science lesson today.
So the cuticle is the one that we all need to worry about. So
Yeah.
the cuticle is what lays on the outside of the hair, and it's like the scales on a snake. So when we have our hair feeling frizzy or dry, it's because that cuticle is opened. And so we need something to either help it lay down or something that absorbs into it to kind of fill it up like a balloon would and kind of make the outside more structured. And so Live and Mist kind of works in both those ways. It helps fill in gaps and then puts this lightweight barrier. The more barrier that you have on a cuticle, the more UV protection you'll get. Because the cuticle is there to protect from that UV. When you're noticing hair color fading, it's that cuticle has actually been taken away by the UV, and now it's affecting the cortex, which is where your hair color lives.
Wow.
Do hydration levels have anything to do with that too, as well?
Oh, yeah, actually, so it's interesting. Hydration levels have a lot to do with, and physical hydration levels have a lot to do with hair health. So, and it has to do with the movement of nutrients throughout the body. But
not
yes,
necessarily how much moisture is going to end up in.
Not particularly, because the moisture level is relative to, not to use a big word here, but your sebaceous activity. And so sebaceous glands are what lubricate your hair strand. So everybody watched the Brady Bunch when they were kids?
I did.
Right? And like maybe
I was like, Ellie might be too young.
No, I didn't.
yeah, you could probably find it on like
think we'll
TBS or TNT. I don't really know if those even exist anymore. But she would brush her hair.
Oh, yeah, Marsha.
She would just brush 100 times. She was moving the oils from her scalp to her ends. That's why she was taking the nourishment from the body and she was hydrating her hair.
Did they know that they were doing this, or they were just doing it and it was effective?
They
And that's the
knew,
reason why they did
but
it?
then somebody from a product company was like, well, what if you don't want to brush your hair? Let's make products. So your body actually makes not everything that you need, but it makes a decent amount of it. But we have certain textures, right? Like people have wavy hair, curly hair. They're not going to brush it at night because it's going to make their hair feel bigger.
It's also a time thing too.
Yeah, totally. So, so the hydration really comes from that, and so that's where when you look at scalp health. And we look at like anything that kind of happens at the scalp level, we don't really try and promote putting products too much onto the scalp. Scalp serums are good, balance things like that. But, just being mindful that the body is also producing that natural conditioner.
Got it. Should we use like a scalp massager, do you think? Like, is that helpful, or is that kind of
Just
like...
feel good.
I like, it's so funny. It's like an internal joke, actually, because we always get these companies that send me scalp massagers to try. And I'm like, guys, I don't want a scalp massager. I have fingertips. I have them right here. I don't, so I don't think that they're bad. I just want to make sure that they don't create unnecessary tension. Right?
Because that sounds like more stress.
Yeah, it sounds like more stress. So I would really prioritize like fingertips and that. And now I think it's great for blood circulation.
Yeah.
I think it's great for, anytime like if anybody's in like microneedling or different types of massage, that pressure is going to trigger the body to, stimulate some type of relief or repair in that area. So I do think it could be good. Just make sure it's not going over the line of stress.
Okay.
Right?
That is good. And I also wanted to do like a quick, rapid rundown of the product because I'm sure a lot of people are going to, wonder. We have clean ingredients. It is vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, which, I have a question about that in a second. It is color safe and it is synthetic fragrance free.
Yes.
And most importantly, made in California.
That's right. Ding, ding, ding.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, that is true though. Like that's actually a big.
People do
That's a
care.
huge question that we
Wonder.
get. And we were really lucky to get with our chemist in California in the beginning because they had no reason to trust us because we had no idea what we were doing in the beginning. But that is a big deal.
So gluten topically, like, is that something that people are sensitive to?
They can be. Yeah. I think
versus like gluten food. Like,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, because the body does kind of absorb, the skin itself can absorb a lot of these, especially like with our scalp serum, for example. It's all about the scalp going through and absorbing the product through these different layers of the skin. So yeah, we do have some people that have that sensitivity, and I think for us, we're overly sensitive to kind of the science, the research, and kind of understanding what doesn't need to be there or what we can, kind of take away the stress, if you will, from our clients. So, or from our customers, is to make sure that, they can trust the products.
Well, I feel from this conversation very trusted, and we are in very good hands with you and Arey and this product. As like, we are wrapping up, like, I'm just, curious, you are very much like the expert, as you are have the opportunity to speak to our members, the community, future clients, or customers being on your hair soapbox. Do you have like a plea or a piece of advice, like a last thing that you would give to people out there just in general about hair care, products, like anything of like, you wish that you could tell the people this like one thing about how they treat their hair, what they do for their hair, what you're seeing, common mistakes even?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do want to be America's hairdresser, so I do have something to say.
You're our FabFitFun
thank you very
and
much.
America's hairdresser.
No, I've always kind of come from the ethos that we should really love the hair that we have and find the ways to really cater to what we have, right?
Yeah.
When I first started, I was given a flat iron and told to make everybody's hair straight. And then gradually I, started to cut hair dry and work with their textures, work with the colors that they have. And, so I do think that having some appreciation for what you have is important. Finding a great relationship with a hairstylist, but also what we've learned over the last couple of years is proactivity within hair care is so important.
Yeah.
We've done so well at skincare, and you see people like the skin is
the 12-year-olds
ageless.
at Sephora.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Skin is ageless in the time in which we live, and I really hope that we can treat hair care that same way, but then also realize that the body is teaching us something with our hair, and the response could mean beyond great hair, less stress, and just feeling better in general. So.
I think that is such a great sentiment, and just, loving the hair that you have, because I feel like we're told our whole lives to change things or to make it look a certain way. There's been so many times where I've been in tears about my hair and the gray and the color. I'm like, I cannot go to the salon again, or why does it look like this? And so I think it's so amazing that you guys are making products that really make a difference, like inside and out, and just giving us that relief and confidence and education.
Yeah,
We've learned a lot today.
Definitely.
Thank you guys. Yeah, no, it's honestly a real pleasure to be able to be here with you and share, but then also to make products that people trust. I mean, that is like such a gift that I never thought I would get the opportunity to do.
I'm so excited to choose this for my box in particular, and to buy like all of the other products.
Did you say that we can throw it in the beard, Jay?
Oh yeah. Okay. So anything can be used on head or on the beard.
Anywhere there's hair.
Anywhere there's hair. There's just different types of hair. So body hair is a little different than head hair.
Got it. Okay.
Got it.
Grows for a lot less time. But yeah, no, it's all formulated for the skin, so it is safe to be used everywhere.
That is amazing. And so what is up next for Arey? So obviously you're in the FabFitFun Fall Box. Anything, other upcoming launches or things you have on the docket for end of 2024, 2025 you're excited about?
We are really excited to start our stylist community.
Ooh.
So we are now working on basically growing a community of hairstylists across the country that can help learn more about trichology and work with their clients to answer the unanswered questions. Like I said, when I went to school for trichology, they said, what does gray hair mean? It says it's complicated. And in hair school, I learned even less about this very fundamental piece of our relationship with our clients. So that we also are wrapping, which I think has been 3 years in the making, is our clinical study. So this is the most kind of intensive clinical study done on gray hair, how fast it goes gray, and what our products can do to help with that.
Wow. All right. So any stylists, that are watching, listening, be on the lookout for Arey. And
that's right. Jay at Arey Gray would love to chat with you. If not, I will find you in your city, because I have a vow to see 1,000 hair salons this year.
Whoa.
Wow.
I did 25 in the last 2 days, and I'm just going to keep going constantly and just want to meet my fellow stylists.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
I love that. Okay, so where can our members follow Arey? Now I'm like getting Arey and Gray, all the things.
And
That's
Jay.
all right.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, enjoy.
We can go to areygray.com, so AREYGREY.com, and then also at areygray on the social, all the social things, which I'm learning about, Instagram and the TikTok and things like that. I love a green screen, by the way, guys, on TikTok. It's my absolute favorite way to film content. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you. I've really appreciated and loved this conversation, and I know our members will as well. So look out for Arey in our fall box. Also comment if we want to see more of the products
Definitely.
in our box, in our sales. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to our merchandising team. Yes. I need one of everything in the sales.
Yeah, we have a couple good ones. We have, the powder dry shampoo. I
love
guys,
powder dry
I have
shampoo.
some in the car, so I'll bring them back out there. Yeah, I have some products for you guys to try.
Sorry, listeners.
I didn't want to be presumptuous, though. I didn't know if there was other brands here, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to just start to bring my own stuff.
It's okay. Yeah.
Our favorite,
Excuse us. Thank you so much, Jay.
Of course.
Thank you to you, Ellie, Steb, to our members. Comment below. We will see you next time. And thank you for tuning in to What the FFF.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.